Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be walking you through the process of how you actually use this AutomataSimulationTEST file in order to get measurements for your follower rod, which by the way, the follower rod, there seems to be some confusion here. The follower rod is this vertical rod right here. So all the measurements that we're taking have to deal with it, okay? And when this simulation file was built, notice that there's a ruler in place. If you move this ruler, or if a kid moves the ruler, I would highly suggest you just tell the kids not to move it, okay? Another idea is if you get comfortable with constraints, you can help them to lock this in place using constraints, but just understand that if you have a kid that goes like this and drags this off into oblivion, obviously you've ruined the whole point of having the ruler there, which is to make the measurements for you. So I'm going to undo that and get back to the basic file that has everything kind of in place. And what we're interested in is this then. So we're going to take a series of measurements. We're going to transfer that over to a data table over here. So I have a Microsoft Excel file going. We're going to measure every 45 degrees, 0 to 360, and of course 360 and 0 should be the same. But we're going to measure where's the bottom of the follower, where's the top of the follower, not height of the follower, sorry, should you say top of the follower, if I can spell, there we go. And then how long is the follower? This length of the follower means how long is that vertical rod, in other words, and that should be the same number every single time. So we're also going to use a formula, hopefully, and get the other measurements pretty quickly. So what we're going to do then is over here where it says angle 2, that's the angle measurement that we're interested in. So right now it's at 60 degrees. What I can do is I can just click on this and I can change the 60 degrees to say 0. So I get this, and what I notice then is at 0 degrees, we are at a measurement here of, what do you want to call that? It's 1 1/4, here's 1 3/8, 1 5/16, maybe, okay? We can call this, the bottom of the follower rod is at 1 5/16, and the top of the follower rod is at 6 inches. So let's transfer that over. 1 5/16. I'm going to type equals 1 plus 5/16. I'm going to enter. So 1.3125. And then the top of the follower rod is at 6. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, you know what, if the bottom is at 1.3125 and the top's at 6, then this length should be 6 minus 1.3125. It should be 4.6875. So I'm going to use that as the length of the follower from here on out. And so in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type, right now it's a formula. So I'm going to type over the top of it. Let's see, 4.6875. Here, this one is just a number, not a formula. I'm going to take that, I'm just going to drag it down. So it's that for every single cell. There we go. So now I've replaced that. I filled it down and filled it up. Every single one of these is just the number, 4.6875. And then I'm going to go through, again, I'm just going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to say equals, type it in a formula. Whatever I have here is going to be the addition of the first cell, the bottom, where the bottom is located, plus how tall the length of the follower is. So there I get the 6, but now this is a formula. You can see up here, this is a formula that got the 6 instead. I'm going to drag this formula down. And now as I start to type in values, all I have to do is measure the bottom of the follower, where that's located at each of these locations, and the top of the follower will automatically be entered for me. So next step is 45 degrees. I'm going to come over here and change the angle to 45. Here we go. That looks to me like 1 3/8 inches. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to type equals 1 plus 3/8, 1.375, and notice that adjusted as well. So I'm just going to continue this all the way around until I get to 360. By the way, 360 is going to be 3.125, again, because it's the same as 0 degrees. Interesting. Huh. Very interesting. I get a different value here. Just because I'm showing so many decimals, I guess. It's not actually 6, but whatever. So we have then our setup. I hope that is good enough to get you going. The one thing that I do want to mention before I stop this video is, what do I do about the snail cam? The snail cam is a little bit more difficult. And I'll tell you, when I did this with my students in the pilot last year, here's what I did. We went here. We dragged down these values one spot. And we added in a measurement for 359 degrees. And for the snail cam, if you can picture that, what that did is that it gave us a, the big drop happened between 0 and 360, right next to the 0 degree marking, which that big drop off occurred. So this allowed us, this 359 allows us to get that really tall height at the very top of the pinnacle right before it did the drop off. And that's how we measured that. So hopefully this video makes sense. It walks you a little bit through how to create the data table. I've got another video coming in just a second. The video that I'm going to create in just a second is going to say, how do I take this stuff now and create the motion graph for it?